We are live.
We're live? Oh no.
That's
I forgot to put on my
it.
something.
I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what I remembered to wear today. Pants.
Pants?
That's right.
Yeah,
this
you've been
is
doing
the
this show.
first time I've worn pants since April.
You've been doing the show in your boxer shorts for the last.
Those are running shorts. Eli. No, this is a big weather change down in Miami, and it's amazing. I got the windows open. I'm wearing pants. It's a big deal for me.
This is a good seasonal, November is a good seasonal time for temperatures to change in Miami. Seems pretty typical. Now that I'm now I've studied climate science, I can tell you that this current system is I have no idea, but it's cool.
Hey yo, what up, Kelly? Shouting you out. Shouting out. She's shouting out pants.
Guys,
I'm gonna shout her right back out.
Guys, today is the day. Today is the day. Where I live,
voted.
Very simple. I can't even show it. Very simple little stickers. Right? You can see that now, right? I voted today. I voted this morning. It wasn't too crazy. Luckily, where we're at, the polls are well staffed, and they didn't have to close too many polling places because of COVID. So
I love that. Is it true that you fill out your ballot and hand it to a pig? The pig walks it over to a duck and all the other.
That's what. Yeah, when you live in the country,
who else is on Old McDonald's farm?
Exactly. Yeah, and if you're lucky, they don't eat your ballot before it makes it to the drop point. But you never know. It's always a crapshoot. I mean, there's many reasons that this is a total crapshoot election overall. But hey, we're out here, and it's finally election day, and this is Schmoozing with Soul Clap. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome. This is our very special election day edition episode. Rave the vote, where our initiatives is almost coming full circle, and we have a action-packed show today.
Action-packed.
In fact, we even have a new segment, which is an on-site, on-location correspondent from the polls, Destructo, aka Mr. Gary Richards himself.
I think he's here right now. I feel like we should bring him in.
He's out there cycling. He's riding for Biden.
There he is. Yes.
There he is.
Yo, what up, boys?
What's up, Gary? What's going on?
I'm on mile 70 of my bike ride today.
Woo!
So I've been on a bike for 4 hours and 20 minutes. So I got a little butt pain.
Working those glutes.
Crushing it.
All good. I'm in Beverly Hills right now. I'm about to head by where I dropped off my ballot to see what's going on.
What have you seen today out there? Anything to report for us?
Everything's pretty chill, man. You know what I got to report for today is that with all the craziness in the world, I feel hopeful, man. I got out to the beach in Malibu. I saw a bunch of dolphins riding in the ocean.
Good sign.
I was telling those dolphins, make sure you make Biden get this election. Then I saw the sun and just people out. People are still happy, man. It seems like it's doom and gloom, but I got hope in the world that we're going to come back strong and things are going to be good. It's like everything's just so negative, and I'm trying to bring some positivity to the program here.
Amen.
That's right. Bring that positive vibration across the nation. That's what we're trying to do here on election day.
Yeah, but no problems. Everybody's cool. Everyone's out. Sun's shining. People are voting. I see lots of people with stickers and no headaches. I mean, right here, I'm in front of some businesses that are boarded up. A lot of boarded up businesses, but I guess they're maybe a preemptive strike. I don't know. Let's see what happens. But
yeah, we're seeing that here in Miami too. A bunch of businesses boarded up, and I guess you can't be too safe, I suppose, with your business.
Yeah, no, it seems like a crazy precaution. I mean, to just assume that people are gonna be rioting and looting because of an election is a little crazy. But
yeah, I agree with you.
It's been a crazy year.
It's been a crazy year. So I just, I think that generally protests are peaceful, and if some crazy shit happens, I'm sure there will be a lot of peaceful protests.
That's true. There would have to be a lot of peaceful protests for some negative shit to be going down.
Well, are you guys seeing what's going on around the White House?
I mean,
let's check it out.
Let's check it out.
How do we
What's
check
going
it
on?
out?
I'm gonna look it up right now and see what we can find.
Well,
I mean, I've seen they're putting heightened security. They're putting fences that you're on unscalable fences.
yeah, it's just weird. Like what I saw was that there's this movement there, and they're gonna have DJs and they're gonna like kind of party and hang out. But if Trump tries to do any stupid shit, if Trump tries to do anything stupid, then they're gonna get vocal. So there's supposedly a big group down there trying to keep it in line if he tries to steal it, if he tries to make up some shit. So good on those people.
Yeah, definitely. Peaceful protest is part of the foundation of our nation, of our Constitution. So big support for that. And everybody who's out there who's been out in the streets, standing up for social justice and racial justice over this year as well. This is hopefully the culmination of the movement, trying to make some positive change in our politics. So that would be great.
I'm pulling up to the Beverly Hills City Hall where they're voting, and a couple fire trucks pulling out. Let's see what's going on at the polls. They got a big vote here signs, some bathrooms and stuff. So I'll give you a visual in about 1 minute of what's going on here.
Cool.
Sure.
In the meantime, about the White House too. Usually the sitting president does not have their election day war room in the White House. It's usually at their campaign headquarters. So this is just yet another thing that we're seeing that's unprecedented from our current president, blurring the lines between politics and governance, which is, always something he's done so well and continues to do.
Can I turn my camera around?
Sure.
Let's see. How do I do this? I'll just turn it around this way. So here's what's going on. You got some people dancing.
Nice.
You got there's the Beverly Hills.
A beautiful day in Los Angeles.
Yeah, people are voting. It seems like there's more people covering what's happening than actually voting. It seems very quiet.
Typical.
Most people are probably already voted. It's so funny. I compare a lot of this to concert promoting. The walk up. They're waiting for the walk up, but everyone already bought their ticket. Sometimes when you sell a bunch of tickets in advance, your walk up isn't that big because they already did it. And we're in a pandemic, so everybody's like, "Oh my God, so many people are voting," but maybe they just didn't want to get COVID.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't know.
I mean, like 100. Yeah, we had over 100 million early voters in the U.S., which is like what was it? Something like 60% of the total turnout of the entire 2016 election.
Unbelievable.
So, a lot of.
We'll have to go back to that graphic and see where that number's at that we've been flashing for the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Gary. We'll be checking back in with you throughout the program, and you can keep showing what you've been up to. And thank you for riding for Biden.
Hey, I miss you guys, man.
Yeah, we miss you
I miss Soul Clap, dude. I need some Soul Clap in my life. Come on.
We'll be together again soon, Gary. Don't worry. You know what's going to happen.
All right. I love you guys. Keep up the good work, man. You guys rock.
You too.
Thank you, Gary.
Stay safe out there.
All right, laters.
So now
I'm sorry, I got to cut you off.
Yeah.
We did make an amazing graphic that we forgot to show, a little trailer for every time we go on site. So
yeah,
Chris, we're going to make sure to run that next time we bring Gary in, or Mike B, or whoever's out there on our at the polls correspondence. I think let's go ahead and let's run our trailer.
Let's run the.
This is something special for you.
Schmoozing.
So that's it.
Lunacy. Bamboozle. Schmoozing.
Cocorico. Talk amongst yourselves.
Schmoozing.
So.
Are you ready? The show's about to start.
Yes. Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining us, this is Schmoozing with Soul Clap. And if you are joining us from Twitch, welcome.
Yeah, Twitch, what up, front page peoples? We're here every week, schmoozing, talking about music, talking about politics, current events, climate change, whatever it is.
That's it. Today, we are talking about the election. That's right.
And you know what? You're probably like, what do a couple DJs know about the election? Shut up, DJs. No, we got an action-packed show for you with experts, with other musicians, with other activists. We got people like Destructo, who we just brought in, biking around, going live from the polls. We got Mike B from LA. He's DJing at the polls. We're going to go live with him. We got DJ Heather from Chicago. We got
Phyllis
Navidad from
No
LA. Who else we got? We got Andre Alexander.
Yes. And we have Nora Gilbert from vote.org. Can't get more legit than that.
No, exactly. And then, of course, Nona Hendrix, the legend. Of course,
Nona Hendrix.
She's been an inspiration, funk, R&B, whatever, musician of many, many flavors, as well as an activist and inspiration to us. So
for sure,
we're really happy to have Nona on here. And we're going to be premiering her new song, which is inspirational and political and exciting to
absolutely. So we've got a little bit different format this week. We're going to be joined by two core correspondents or hosts, our two
co-hosts.
Our co-hosts from Chicago, DJ Heather from Los Angeles, Phyllis Navidad. Let's bring them on the show.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop.
Whoop. Oh, they're not here.
Oh, really?
Just us.
We lied. They're not joining us this week. Well,
fine.
That's,
so let's bring in Nona then. Let's bring in Nona.
Let's bring in Nona.
Nona it is. This is live television. This is live television, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, these things happen. And it's election day. Tensions are high, but you know what? We're feeling optimistic. Oh, okay.
There she is. Nona Hendrix. Welcome to Schmoozing the Soul Clap Rave the Vote Edition.
Yeah.
I voted.
We can't see the sticker. There it is.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, Eli, Charlie.
Yes.
Long time no see.
I know. It feels like too long.
Yeah. Oh my God, this virus is just like messed up the whole vibe.
Sure has.
What's been going on in New York? What's the energy like?
We were hit hard to begin with, and we were on lockdown, like serious lockdown, and then the virus escaped to everywhere else because the orange one did nothing about it, and so the virus is like, yeah, hello, I can like do my thing because dude is not on duty, so the virus is like out there, and so we can't. It's like the virus is funkier than funk.
The bad funk.
I'm telling you, it's like yeah, you funky. Let me show you some funk over here.
Ugh.
So,
and I feel like funkiness can be a little bit like when you wear in that pair of pants and shirt, and it really becomes your uniform and it becomes a part of you. Yeah. That kind of funk, a little stink.
Yeah.
But like this virus, it thrives on nastiness.
This is funkier than your grandpa's drawers.
And that's
you got a clean grandpa's drawers. It's not necessarily funky to be so clean.
We don't want to go over to that funk area.
Maybe Cameo. Cameo's sort of a very clean, sonically clean funk.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But Grandpa's drawers is like, nope. Nope. Or grandma's drawers.
Oh no. I'm wondering, Nona, like, I know you're always been very conscious of your health and staying in shape and all that stuff. What have you done to stay sane during this time of not really being able to be out, being on stage, being able to be with people?
Well, it's kind of hard. Like I started out like really hard, like, got my weights here, working out, doing music, and, started like, maybe not today. Yeah, well, maybe not today. And now I'm looking into a Peloton.
Oh.
It got to the point where it was like, so many days, became weeks, became months. And somebody told me about that COVID 15 pounds everybody's wearing.
Not me.
Oh, not you?
It, Nona. No way. I actually lost weight this quarantine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I was kind of fat going into it. So
yeah, everybody I know got a little chunky, So I'm trying to avoid it. I got like about 8 pounds, and I'm fighting hard.
That
So
Peloton looks dope though.
yeah,
I
I'm
like
thinking.
the concept.
Yeah, so at least I'll be competitive. I'm being competitive. So like if I know like the Karens of this world is on the Peloton, I'm gonna get on the Peloton. I'm gonna get on the Peloton to shut the Karens down, right? So
That's the Karen setting. They're popping up in front of you,
like
trying to hold you. Oh my god.
you're like,
It's
you're
like
like
whack-a-mole,
fighting for my life.
whack-a-Karen.
The Karen setting is like hard. So that's my Peloton dream. Me and Karen, just a class full of Karens. Like,
Wow.
It's so good. Oh, I see they make
Hey.
like a rowing machine kind of similar thing
Yeah.
too.
Yep,
Which look, that's kind of cool. That's hard exercise, man.
it is. I've used rowing machines. I've used them all. Like, I became like a gym rat. And
Actually, here's a funny
yeah.
story. In high school, I was on the crew team, and then me and my buddy Andy Lee, we got kicked off. Well, for many reasons, because actually being out on the Charles River in the wintertime on one of those cruise ships, it's terrible. It's terrible.
It's not a cruise.
Figure that out quick. But we were like, so there was
the Charles River on a cruise ship.
rowing crew. Yeah, on a cruise ship. Crew on a
Crew.
skiff.
It's a rowboat.
I don't even remember. I got kicked off the team. I don't remember what it's called. But there was strawberries across the street on Memorial Drive from the boathouse we were working out at. And my friend Andy Lee was like, yo, I'm going to go steal some CDs. And I was like, yo, and I gave him a laundry list of Funkadelic and other like P-Funk related like titles that I didn't have in my collection. So I gave him this list, and yeah, he got stopped. He had stuffed all these CDs down his pants, and then like they walked right across the street, and that was the end of that. But
yes, no, it's rowing.
sorry, Andy,
I try.
blowing you. Getting all loud.
Well, hey, it's in the past. They can't arrest him today, right?
Yeah, well,
yeah, he's okay. He's good. So, but no, all that I try to eat good. I try to keep active, and I've been doing a lot of things, doing a lot of music, which is good. I've done three major online projects. One with a lot of female artists, jazz associates, and it was female artists from all around the world, like Colombia, South Africa, Canada. And that was cool to do that. And then I did a virtual multi-game. It was on Twitch, actually. Multi-game project with Berklee College of Music. And
Amazing.
It was a game, but it's also performance as well. And we working with an artist in Australia, in the Netherlands, Chagall, who uses gloves to control her voice and images.
Oh, wow.
And that was deep. It's called The Dream Machine.
Oh, gotta check it. For people watching that don't know what Nona's been up to in recent years, she's like pushing the technological envelope, especially when she's paired up with the team over at Berklee College of Music, and it really exploring the boundaries of technology and music. So there's some really cool stuff going on there.
Yeah, these are my gloves.
Yo, power gloves.
No, these are the gloves. These are called Mew gloves, and you use them to Mew gloves. Mew. Okay. And you use them to control your sound effects and your voice and music and lights and visuals with bin sensors. They're pretty cool.
Wow.
I would have demonstrated them, but I didn't have time to do that today.
We'll do that another time. We'll have you back soon.
For
Nona.
sure. We need a proper deep dive Nona Hendrix episode.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Google Mew gloves. You'll be like, oh, holy cow, Batman.
I just found the Berklee College of Music page about the Dream Machine project. So I'm going to dig into that a little more when we're off. And this artist, Gal, looks really amazing. So I'm looking forward to checking all that out. But yeah, I mean, I
think I
guess
got frozen there a little bit.
Nope, no, it's not coming in clear.
we got to keep it moving since there's so many people to talk to, Nona. But
we got to premiere the song.
We got the song, but I also just wanted to talk to you about, protest and activism in these times. What a year it's been for that, and your history of being involved with activism through music and how you feel this moment is.
Oop, can you hear us?
See us? We see you.
Put your hand up if you can hear us.
Are we back? Are we back?
Maybe she just doesn't see us.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Let's run the song while we try to get it.
Let me see.
Chris, let's run that song while we try to get Nona in here. Yeah, cool.
This is what happens when we're streaming.
Live stream.
Live. So this is Nona's newest piece of music, Need a Leader.
Look to the left and look to the right. There's a model to win this fight. We need a leader. We need relief. We need a leader to end our grief. Look to the left and look to the right. There's a model to win this fight. We need a leader. We need relief. We need a leader to end our grief. Who's gonna lead us out of this quagmire? Who's gonna clear up the smoke and extinguish the fire? Give us pride and real shame. Who's gonna turn this land to proud from lame? Where's my hero mother? Can't you find another? Who improved conditions? Who's guided by a mission? Now look to the left and look to the right. There's a model to win this fight. We need a leader. We need relief. We need a leader to end our grief. Look to the left and look to the right. There's a model to win this fight. We need a leader. We need relief. We need a leader to end our grief. We'll overcome remorse. We navigate our course. We'll find it. Have no fear. It's right here. We'll overcome remorse. We'll navigate our course. We'll find it. Have no fear. It's right here. We need a leader. Why can't a country find direction? Why can't solutions come from our elections? Get it right and guide our senses. Stop building walls of lies and start living fences. I'm scared for our children and the world will leave them. Where is the bravery and being proud of slavery? So look to the left and look to the right. There's a model to win this fight. We need a leader. We need relief. We need a leader to end our grief. Look to the left and look to the right. And there's a model to win this fight. We need a leader. We need relief. We need a leader to rid our grief. We'll overcome remorse. We navigate our course. We'll find it. Have no fear. It's right here. We'll overcome remorse. We navigate our course. Oh, we'll find it. Have no fear. It's right here. There's a model to win this fight. We need a leader. We need to lead. We need a leader to rid our greed. Look to the left and look to the right. There's a model to win this fight. We need a leader.
Woo!
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Mama. Vote. Vote.
Vote to the left.
Vote.
Vote yes to the left. Indeed. So I'll show you my other project I've been working on is this. Can you see it?
Yes.
Ooh. Oh.
Yes.
Wait. I'm trying to get it so you can actually, my little.
Well, you gotta
Wait, a little more to the side.
Yeah, to the other
Yeah.
The
side.
other side. There it is. Oh my witchcraft. I love it.
Nice.
That's it. Every day as I work, every day I get up and I stick another pin in.
Well, we hope your voodoo is effective.
You know, we
Right.
got a little cut off before we started playing the song, so we didn't get a chance
Yeah.
to let you set that up. But if there anything you wanted to say about that new piece of music and this project, some nice guitar on there too.
Yeah, that's Ronnie Drayton, you know, Ronnie, my guitarist I worked with for like 35, 40 years, who I think actually was taken out of here by COVID in February.
Wow.
You know,
Oof.
it was like sudden, and
Oh man.
yeah, he's like, you know, lefty upside down guitar playing genius. And so we miss him like we miss Bernie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know, and Gary, and you know, they're the ones who made all this amazing music. And Ronnie's guitar playing was like one of the funkiest guitar players ever. Right. So that's Ronnie on there, and that I wanted to do that because I know how he felt about this election, and a friend of mine who also was a big supporter of Ronnie when Ronnie's son was going through the whole thing with prison, and you know they were trying to send him to prison for 27 years when he was like 18 years old for a drug bust. But my
As they
other
do to
friend,
so many young men in our country.
yeah. So that's so we need a leader. You know, we need it says it all right there in the song. We need a leader.
Yep.
Right. Hopefully by the end of today, that'll be happening.
Amen.
Fingers crossed. Nona, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us.
Yeah, it's so good to see you guys. I miss you.
You too.
Yeah, we miss you dearly.
Yeah, where's the little one? Where's the little new addition?
She's upstairs. She's upstairs running around. I'll send you some pictures when we get off the show. I'll send you some pictures.
I need
She's
some
almost
new
two now.
pictures.
It's wild.
Time has gone by. Yo, Charlie, what you doing down there in Florida?
You know, just trying working on my tan, Nona. Come on now. Making music, trying to stay happy, lose a little bit of my muffin top.
Okay, well, you know you gotta catch up. Eli, way ahead of you, dude. Need that next generation.
Amen. Well, you know, gotta talk to my. I'll give you my woman's number. You can start bugging her.
Hey, I am the baby whisperer. It's another
I'm hooking
story.
you up then.
Yeah, another time I'll tell you a story. It's really good. It's a whole thing that I baby whispered this baby into existence from a couple who were doing all kinds of things to have one, couldn't get one. Boom.
Bam.
This is great. This is great for when we have you back. I can't wait to.
Well, let's do. We're doing a deep dive coming soon, y'all.
Boom. Okay. All right. All right, guys.
Nona, much love.
All right, Nona. We love you.
Yes. Love you too.
Peace.
Keep up the
peace
keep
and
the
power to
funk
the
up.
people.
Yes.
Oh, she's the best.
Yeah.
All right, come on, let's keep this show rolling.
We got Phyllis. We got Phyllis and Heather, our co-hosts for today. Special
Welcome, guys. What's up, Phyllis? How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
All right, Heather. Heather looks like you're on mute. You got to unmute. You got to hit that. There you go. What up? What up?
Unmuting.
What is up?
Sorry,
Not much. How are you guys feeling? Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, or it's good to just stay busy. That's what my general feeling has been the last weeks leading up to this election, and especially today. Just stay busy.
Today's the day to stay busy for sure. Today's the day to keep your mind occupied.
Can we just real quickly Heather and Phyllis?
That's been hard to do.
Can you guys just quickly introduce yourself in 2 sentences for our viewers and let people know who you are, where you're at?
Phyllis, you want to go first?
I'll go first. That's fine. So my nickname is Phyllis Navidad. I had a very long-standing run in nightlife, which is how I know these guys. And now I do creative event design, and I helped a little bit with the Rave the Vote initiative, which I'm super proud of, and you guys should be really proud of.
For sure.
But yeah, that was, I've been obsessed with nightlife and club culture since I was 16. So I guess that would be how I'm here right now with you guys.
For sure. Thank you.
Awesome.
Can I have a candy?
Yeah, you can have it.
He wants a candy.
That other special guy.
Yeah, a candy.
How was his taekwondo class?
Hi, y'all.
Hey.
It was good. He's out there giving it to everybody. He really enjoys it. Something that's his only chance to see other kids in a safe environment. So being able to learn how to kick some ass and then hang with your friends is cool. So he's happy about it.
That's awesome.
I guess I'll introduce myself. My name's Heather. I DJ, make music, parent. And how I know you gentlemen is by virtue of nightlife and music making and having a lot of fun doing so. And then you guys gave me a shout about coming on to talk about these turbulent times, and that's why I'm here to chat with you. What's up?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, Heather, we actually knew you way before
okay, I'll find it for you. Give me a second. Okay.
We used to watch you DJ at Bump at the Phoenix Landing in Boston.
My gosh.
When we were just
yeah, that's right.
I'll take it a step further. I was in school in Los Angeles, 99 to 2003, and I used to come watch you at all those tropical parties.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yep.
Yes, we did that today.
I know. I watched you with Mark.
Yeah,
Farina.
those were dope.
In the 90s too. Mark Farina all the time.
We're getting Zoom bombed. We're getting Zoom bombed right now. We got Zoom bombed.
Yeah.
I think this is my child. Yeah, I think you voted. That's
what's
awesome.
what's his name? What's your name, my friend?
What's your name? Tell him your name. Tell him your name.
Is it a secret?
Truman.
Truman. You
Yeah,
look a little young to vote. Truman looks a little young to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was by proxy.
Hold on.
Can you give me a second? I'll give you the candy.
So yeah, Phyllis, to go back to what
where I can't find it.
Well, you were saying, we've all been involved in nightlife and this culture for so long. I think a big part of it, Rave the Vote, and just generally, being here today is thinking about how we can kind of take that culture and take that community and make a bigger difference in the world, right? Especially in this time when we can't party together. How can we at least be doing positive work? So I feel like that's something that's brought us together and with Rave the Vote, and now it's a great chance to talk about that and see and try to actually use this impact to make a difference in this election.
Yeah, I would say I was actually pleasantly surprised after the first live stream that Rave the Vote dropped to be part of how fun it was. I guess for me, to be quite honest, was how is this gonna work? We're not gonna be around each other. It's are these all gonna come down as fun? And people really responded, and it's actually super fun to just have everybody play and and drop their best of their best, you know, and everybody's like, even sets were curated so beautifully with like some amazing like jams that were old school.
Absolutely. I think people definitely, it was a great outlet for all this incredible talent, including what was going on behind the scenes, like what your contribution, Phyllis, and the whole team in Los Angeles producing the whole show. I mean, it was such a big initiative, and yeah, you know, we had, you know, more than 4 million impressions overall throughout the campaign.
So cool.
Yeah, for all you
incredible.
Tune into Rave the Vote. Rave the Vote was a series of live streams that we, along with a big team, organized to get DJs to play music and engage electronic music fans to register and vote and request mail-in ballots. And we had 4 big virtual events here on Lost Resort on Twitch, and Phyllis helped design the sets and a lot of the creative direction, and Heather DJ'd, and a bunch of other people participated. So it was really special. And now, you know, we had big support from vote.org, which was the organization we partnered with. And we actually have Nora Gilbert from vote.org, who is joining us now live here on this special
nice
edition.
segue. Wow. I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
Nice. That was smooth.
Wow.
Welcome. Working on my segues.
Very impressed. After
Nora,
that,
how's it going?
you know, it's just a regular day over here.
Is it?
But no, it's going well. It's exciting that we're here on November 3rd. I, at many times in the last few months, maybe didn't think that we were going to get here, but we're here, and things are going pretty smoothly. It seems so far.
Can you give us like an update when you say smoothly? Like what's going on? What are you seeing? What kind of reports are you
that
getting?
was gonna be my question.
Oh
yeah. So I think part of what I think is going smoothly is that we had record turnout for early voting and vote by mail. So over 100 million people had already voted going into today, which is amazing and super exciting. Especially young voters are turned out much more for early voting than they ever had before. That's not to say that everything went perfectly during early voting. There were super long lines. You know, we're facing the pandemic and voter suppression and all of these things standing in voters' ways. But I think what we saw in early voting and continuing to see today is that American voters are really resilient and really fired up and ready to vote and are going to stand in line and are going to do whatever it takes. And so far today, we're seeing that happen. I think, you know, important to remember that we're sort of just getting to the peak voting time on the East Coast. And so lines could get much longer. You know, we could see, you know, things happen. We're getting reports of things like some robocalls to voters in Flint telling them to stay home because the lines are too long and show up tomorrow. Like, things like that are really bad. Yeah. But, you know, there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of, you know, voter suppression going around, and we are working really hard to counter it and make sure people have good, reliable, nonpartisan information. And for the most part, I feel like I said things were going well, and then I gave some bad examples of what's happening. But for the most part, and we can focus on the things that that require attention, so that we can make sure, you know, we can send a message to all these voters in Flint and say, hey, this isn't true. You can't vote tomorrow. Show up today. So we sort of have the ability to focus on that one.
Well, we're a country of like 330 million people, right? So there's bound to be things that go wrong. No, like, you know, our election system is never going to be perfect. There's clearly flaws, like a lot of flaws. And I've been reading a lot about how people in other countries with democracies kind of see the problems in our system, which we could address at some point. But at least, you know, things seem to be running decently well up to now. So I think that's a big.
I mean, I think big picture, our democracy has a lot of work. But you know, our system is not set up for everyone to vote, and it's not set up in a super easy way for everyone to cast their ballot, even if they are eligible to vote. And so I think that you know, a silver lining maybe of this election cycle is that a lot of states, you know, expanded options of ways people could vote and made, you know, longer windows that people could vote in. And once people are voting early, once they're voting by mail, like, they're not going to want to go back. They're going to keep doing that. So some of these things are going to just become more ingrained into just the way that we vote. But I think that people's eyes are a little more open into like the work that we have to do collectively to make democracy actually work. And at vote.org, we are really focused on removing any barriers to voting, simplifying political engagement, making it really easy for the 100 million eligible voters who didn't turn out in 2016. We want to get rid of anything that stood in their way and make sure they can show up.
Wow.
And so, there's a lot of good things, maybe silver lining, that came out of this election cycle, but there's plenty of work to do. And now people have a pretty clear roadmap of what that is.
I saw that the 2016 election was the lowest turnout since '96. So, but I do think seeing it was something that it's around 60% of the turnout was already matched by early voting in this election.
Yeah.
So we're on pace for actually bouncing back from that, which is really exciting.
Yeah, it's like 70% over the total from 2016 is what we're at now.
Yeah, and so in some states like Texas and Hawaii, I think, and a couple others already today have passed the total turnout.
Oh, wow.
That we had last time. Yeah,
that's incredible.
Laura, do you know what number in terms of young people, young? I mean, I still like to consider myself young, but I'm saying under the age of 25, I guess, between 18 and 25, because I would say, I mean, it seems like that's probably the biggest new turnout for this election versus 2016.
Yeah, so together, Gen Z and millennials combined this year make up the biggest demographic of the electorate, the biggest age bracket, which is super exciting. I think 37% of the electorate.
Wow. That's so cool.
Gen Z and millennials. I don't know where the line that, I don't know what the percentage is. We're just looking at Gen Z, but it's a big chunk of the electorate, and we're seeing really impressive turnout from young voters so far. And I think what's really cool to think about with young voters is when young voters show up, it's not just that they show up, but it's different what they vote for. And in 2018, when young voters showed up way more in the midterms than they had in 2016, the average age of Congress went down by a decade. So
that's so cool.
Yeah. So there's, we can really see these impacts. It's really exciting. And I think that, again, if everyone doesn't show up, we still have plenty of work to do. It's not like we can pat ourselves on the back and say we reached every young voter, but I think that a lot of great work has been done this cycle to engage young voters. And we've been really grateful for partnerships, including Rave the Vote, that help us reach more young voters and help us, we want to meet people where they are with messengers they trust and information they need. And so it's been really exciting to collaborate with you all and make sure that your Rave community is getting all the information they need to vote.
For sure.
Amen, for sure. Something about this pandemic time, though, is it really for young people, old people, everyone across the board, it really brings the reality of the situation home. Whereas maybe if this wasn't going on, perhaps politics was something a little bit more abstract. But for young people, that maybe 18 to 25, whatever, that would be out doing yada, 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 going to school, going to university, everything's canceled. Now they're sitting at home and, perhaps this is an inspirational to get out there and really want to make that change.
Yeah, I think the other thing that happened this year, in addition to, not in addition to COVID, it's part and parcel of it, but with this sort of racial justice reckoning our country has been going through this summer, people are aware of what's happening on the local level in a different way. They're thinking about who their city council members are, who their sheriffs are, who is setting their local budgets. And there's sort of an engagement on the local level that I think makes people realize that their vote really does matter. When we talk only about the Electoral College, it's really easy to feel like it doesn't, but over 100,
it doesn't reflect.
105 races last cycle were decided by 100 votes or fewer. So these local races really, every vote counts. And I think people realize that, and they also are much more connected to what's happening on the local level right now. And we see that in engagement. People are fired up to in LA, where I am, and maybe some of you are. I think that's what I heard. People are fired up about the DA race and about city council and county supervisor, and these races impact our lives way more than the Biden-Trump race. But it's exciting that people are noticing and engaging around them.
Yeah, I think this is something we really tried to hit home with the Rave the Vote messages. Was really voting is something that makes a much bigger impact than just every 4 years for the presidential election, right? There's Congress, there's state elections, which make a huge difference. I live in New York State, and we got a Democratic supermajority in in the state house with the governor, and passed some really progressive climate bills this year, as well as some other, bills that really make a difference to like what I believe in and what I work on. So I think and then there's of course the local elections, which make the biggest difference, because your city council people, your town board, these kind of people are the ones you can actually interact with, at city hall, town hall meetings on a regular basis.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what I feel has been part of the whole pandemic slowdown, is actually in another quote unquote normal time. The hashtags that you would see relating to racial injustice, police brutality. I mean, the list goes on. Yeah, hold on. And so I find that in this moment, it's given us a chance to just slow down and actually address what's happening. 1 minute. And so I think that, so it's a blessing in a way. Yeah, piece of candy no matter what.
Truman, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, right.
He's going to be, and what's awesome is that, coming for him coming to vote with me, this is his second time. He's always about engagement himself and voicing his opinion. It's like, I guess I'm creating a monster, but yeah, but that's, I think what's good about this, the upside is the level of engagement that I feel that more people are being a part of, feeling like that it's not really something that's abstract and out of their hands any longer.
Yeah. The other thing I'd say about that too is like, it doesn't end today. Like we don't just sort of like, take off our hands and just come back in 4 years. And I think ideally, like the work starts today. It's like we're hiring the people that we want to go do this job. And I think hopefully we can keep young voters super engaged coming out of today as well. And that's how we're going to, make a much more representative democracy.
This is a point, that we keep bringing up. Politics is doing one little thing every day to make the world a better place, to make your world a better place.
Exactly.
That's
yes,
like politics.
I agree with that.
Voting every 4 years in the presidential election. It's so important to give it this bigger thing.
Yeah. It's keeping people, it's keeping the conversation going. And it's like, for me, I personally feel like the way I share information isn't really doom and gloom necessarily, but just like keeping you up to date the way I feel as a human being, because that's always how I've operated since I was a kid, because it's something that was passed down from within my family, to be engaged, to be aware. Traveling helps you kind of understand the places you're going and having conversations. And that's just like how we should interact as human beings, just to get a sense of where you're at and finding those common grounds and commonalities that help us relate to each other, even in the best way possible. I think this is, again, part of that mechanism. This is one finger on the hand of everything that we could do together.
For sure. Yeah. Nora, before we let you go, I did wanted to ask, what should we be looking for in these next few hours, or, and tonight, as what results are coming in? What should we be looking for with the mail-in voting? When are those results going to get counted? It's just so many layers of it this year that we're not used to dealing with on election night. What are key things that we can be watching and our viewers can be watching for?
Great question. I think the sort of number one key takeaway we want people to go into tonight with is that we want every vote to be counted, and accuracy takes time, and democracy is worth the wait. And so we never have final results on election night. That's totally normal. And so the expectation that like it's going to just be finished tonight, it's unrealistic in any year, but especially this year when we have so many mail-in ballots, and it's just a really different nature of the election. So results are going to take a little longer, and that's fine.
Sorry, Nora, just to clarify then. So often, like, I've voted in a lot of elections now. I think I've got a grasp on this, that a lot of the time that we're getting these races and the states are getting called because of the polls, not the actual vote counts, right? How does that work exactly?
So yeah, it's usually like a percentage of precincts reporting, and they do exit polls, and they can sort of predict what's happening. And also when it's mostly in-person voting and they have the actual ballots, that's one thing. But in California, they can ballots have to be postmarked by today. They can be received for another 10 days. Like they have a sense now of how many outstanding ballots there are, so they can project them that way. But like it's never an official certified count on election night. So we don't want anyone to sort of expect things to be sort of done and buttoned up tonight. It could take a few days, and it's a good thing. We want the time to be taken to make sure everything counts. The other thing is that in-person voting is likely going to lean more red, and mail-in voting likely going to lean more blue. So it is, the early returns might look very different than the final results. And so what you see coming in, on the news tonight might not be anything sort of representative of what's going to happen in the coming days. And so being patient, making sure that we are, not spreading misinformation, making sure we're pointing people to reliable sources, making sure just look at everything from the media with a little bit of scrutiny of why would they be doing precincts reporting in a mail-in ballot year?
Right.
Thinking about what is the information they're actually giving us and how reliable is it? And using trusted messengers. Check what the AP is saying before you look at you want to share something else. But just
weekly world news.
Take time. What do you say?
The weekly world news. Do you remember that from the supermarket checkout? That child.
National Enquirer. That's always the most active.
Exactly. Yeah, I think
weekly world is like one step
great
into the
source for this. TMZ, just get it from the best sources. But
and can we get information?
The Onion, for sure. The Onion. That's where I'm going from.
TMZ's been doing amazing work to.
Can we get that real time info from vote.org, or if not, is there?
Can.
Yeah.
You can. Great. So we have a page that we just put up, vote.org/election-results. But if you just go to vote.org, there's a little banner on the top where you can look at it. We're going to be giving information of sort of understanding election results, what you need to know, some different information, key actions that voters need to take. We're not calling the election. We don't give the actual returns, but we give you sort of the information you need to understand and analyze what's happening. And there's a bunch of different scenarios of how this could play out. And anyone who tells you they know what's going to happen is lying. And so just sort of go to the sources that you trust, make sure you're looking at reliable information. We'll be sharing information throughout the day. You can follow us at vote.org on socials as well. And the dot is DOT, BOTE, DOT.org. You like how I write it out with my finger there. And we'll be sharing any information you need to know. So, so follow along.
Awesome.
I want to say on the Onion right now, we have all the hard-hitting news. Nothing could go wrong on a day as beautiful as this.
Yeah.
From Stockbridge, Mass. Urging readers to just take a look at the shining sun and the blue sky stretching far as the eye could see. A report released Tuesday morning found that nothing could go wrong on a day as beautiful as this.
It's beautiful out.
It's beautiful.
Eli,
it is beautiful here too.
For this, are you ghostwriting for the Onion? Is that why?
Yeah, that's why I'm plugging them.
I could really see. We could see you being a total ghostwriter for the Onion.
Well, if we never get to go back to the clubs, I know where I can go work.
There you go. You're a man of many talents, Eli. You can do anything besides.
Oh.
That's very sweet.
Nora, I think we have some live. We may have some live from the polls coming up with Mike B. But we wanted to thank you so much for joining us
helping
thank
out.
you, Nora.
Thank you, Nora.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for all the work of Rave the Vote. It's been so fun working with you all.
It's been a real pleasure working with vote.org.
Nice
Keep
to
up
meet
the good work.
Thank you.
Bye.
So I wonder, I saw in the chat we maybe have Mike B.
Yeah, can we confirm in? And if so, let's jump
God, I hope
to our live correspondent.
So yeah, we need to run the intro. Don't forget to run.
That's pretty good.
Is he going to be deep?
Oh,
The
sun doesn't look like it's shining over there.
Wow.
It's pretty dark. It's pretty dark, pretty early.
Maybe
This is live television.
Oh,
Should we run the intro again?
Come on, Mike.
Not worn off yet.
Yeah.
Well, Mike B is somewhere out there
He's
in the poll at the polls in Los Angeles, and
That's how
there
long
he
this
is.
is. Oh yeah. What's up, Mike?
Mike B, welcome to the show. Some bad internet out there, Mike.
Oh
Yeah. Wild internet.
Yeah, there I am. All right. Can you hear me?
we can hear you.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes?
You look so handsome.
Fantastic. I think there's a little bit of delay. Hello,
What's
my
going
friends.
on? Welcome
Hello,
to the
Phyllis.
show.
Hi.
Hello, DJ Heather. What's up?
So, Mike, tell us a little bit about tell us a little bit about what you're doing today out there in LA.
You're on the beat. Tell us what's up.
No.
All
right.
And he's back.
How did we lose me? I'm trying to find. I got 5 bars, so I don't know. I couldn't find any.
I guess
Wi-Fi,
everybody's trying to go live from the polls
I'm
right
out
now.
here on these streets. I've been on the streets. Yeah, I mean, it's cool out here. I think, as DJs, we feel it when there's energy in the air, whether the room's empty or not. And I feel like I woke up today and I just kind of felt it in the air. I was telling Charlie earlier, I did not even plan on voting today.
What?
People's
Why?
dismay. But I had my reasons. I mean, what's the point of having? I mean, why not have a right to vote? I mean, if I can't exercise my right, not to. But I did go out and vote, and it was very smooth and it was very easy.
Woo-hoo.
So anyone who is worried about that,
nice.
I've been to now 3 different polling places today, and everything has been like real mellow at all of them. So people should not be scared to go to the polls. And I can prove it. I got my sticker, and I wouldn't buy a sticker. I don't even know if that's on the right side.
That's it.
Well, we're glad you decided to exercise the right instead of not exercise that right. That's for sure.
I was in and out of the poll I was in and out in less than 10 minutes. No joke.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you been DJing? Have you been DJing the polls too? Is that what I heard? You've been DJing some polls?
I did, yeah. So I just got done with my first set for Joy to the Polls. And it was very cool. A lady came out and asked me to please turn it down. But a couple people danced and took pictures and stuff. I sent there's Jay. Oh, here's the footage piping in. There's my.
I love this.
Just got my nails so
nice.
you get to see that.
Oh, super cute.
Live from the truck.
Nice.
That's great.
Will that be in Garbage Can City too?
There's my pom-poms. There's my smiley face fingernail. Because to wear a mask and you can't see my winning smile, I got my nail swag.
I love that.
Nice.
Work.
Well, thank you very much, Mike.
But I think there's a.
Oh.
You got it. Thank you guys. It's nice to be in the room with such a legendary cast over here.
It's great to have you. I can't wait to see you in real life, man.
Charlie and Eli, man, I can't wait to give you guys a hug, man. I miss you guys. Phyllis, I love you very much. I'm sure I'll see you on the streets. DJ Heather, my new best friend. I'll see you on Good TV.
Absolutely. Good night.
And I got to go to the next location and I'm going to go DJ on the next Joy to the Polls. So respect to Lost Resort.
Nice. Love it.
Wait, where's your next location? Where's the next one? Where's the next one that you're going to?
Oh, we lose them. That's a great question, Phyllis.
Yeah.
We should find that out, and we'll run so people can go and check them out. And that's also a great plug because DJ Heather has an It's Good TV show going on later today for anybody that's on Twitch that's wanting to see her work it. You want to? Maybe there's a good time to plug that show.
What time is that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's coming up tonight on It's Good TV, the collaborative station channel on Twitch with like Christian Martin, Vanessa, Walker and Royce, Ardelon, Christian Martin, Justin Martin, Beat for the Soul, Dante Saunderson. I'm sure I'm missing someone. I think I got everybody. So so this week is my Tuesday with Beats of the Soul. This is 8 p.m. CST, so you can do the math. That's my set, and then Beats for the Soul are just an hour and a half before me, so 2 hours.
Wicked.
I cook, play cuts, and then I just play some cuts, but I cook in a different way. So Chicago across the board. So my hour is called the Sci-Fi Show, and I just play some cuts until till the kid tells me to stop because his bedroom is right above the studio. So low key fun, like no stress, just some cuts. Sometimes I get on the mic, tell you that it's a new thing I bought. Just having a good time, trying to create some content because we can't be at the club.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So this just in.
So see you tonight.
The next location of Joy to the Polls is at 3 p.m. West Coast time at Fairfax Senior Center, 7929 Melrose Ave, Los Angeles, California.
Nobody gets more crunk in Los
possibilities are
Angeles
endless.
than the Fairfax Senior Center.
I mean,
and right now we have our
wow.
next special guest here on the Schmooze. We got our man Andre Alexander. Andre, what is up?
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to Schmoozing.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
For sure. So where are you tuning in from, Andre?
I'm actually in Los Angeles. Basically, in Los Angeles, I'm a professor at USC, as you all know. So I actually canceled my classes for the day, and I sent a message saying, "Go vote, go vote, go vote."
Woo! Nice.
Yeah, super excited.
We have a lot of. You said what you say, Heather?
Excellent. I said, let the children know and go vote. Yes, sir.
Yep.
That's it.
Yes.
But it's so funny. I was looking up some statistics before I got here, and it was discussing how the turnout rates went from about 22% in, I think it was the 2014 primaries, to about 42%. And already as of yesterday, about 7 million youth were out there voting. People between the ages of like 18 and 29. So yeah, we've seen some really great things, especially around college age students.
Incredible, and once again,
that's what we need.
the utmost respect for letting the kids out and have that real world experience. That reminds me of a little conversation we were having backstage before the show about the fact that today is not a national holiday, or should be a national holiday. Perhaps
it should be.
Businesses should be closed so that all citizens are really encouraged to get out there and vote. And Eli, I believe you found a foundation that's kind of trying to push that agenda.
Yeah, I mean, many countries do have national holidays on election day, or they have it on Sundays. Sunday, that's another thing that a lot of countries do. But here in the U.S., it is not. Obviously, Tuesday is a day when most people have to work or go to school.
Or it's taco night, at least.
But there is a new organization, new movement. It's called Time to Vote. Make timetovote.org is their website, and there's like over 1,000 corporations that have basically pledged to allow their employees the day off to vote. And I also see there's some big corporations like Best Buy, Gap, J. Crew, Lyft, Nike, Twitter, and even Apple is giving like 4 hours off with pay on election day. So there's a lot of a movement to this, even if there's not going to be policy around this, at least there can be some action from the private sector here.
It's awesome.
Wow, look at this. I'm trying to look. Oh, Arc'teryx, holler, all you
That's fantastic.
So Andre, I'm curious. So when you think USC, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about what you do and how it relates to this election?
Well, I teach in the music industry department at USC, so I'm teaching about 2 or 3 undergraduate courses, and I teach about 2 graduate level courses of music business, dealing with like music publishing, licensing music for film and television, reading some of the contracts, the basics of intellectual property, understanding your rights with a composition, which we all understand. But then, of course, as DJs, your rights, when you create a new sound recording from a composition, your ability to sometimes even negotiate copyright ownership depending on how much you manipulated the file, et cetera, et cetera. So we talk about,
I need to take your class, man.
Come on, take the class, take all of them. I'll teach a few of them. So that's one. And then I also help with some of the capstone projects. So a lot of the students at the very end, think about when you graduate from college, you don't know what the hell you're going to do. You're just like, I don't know, I'm just going to just, go back out into the world. We actually allow them to have a a project where they can, if they want to be a music supervisor, they can actually get a film, do the project, or they want to release their own music. How do you release the music? How do you monetize on the music? Things of that nature. So we go through this entire process.
Man, I wish I had a class like that.
Very cool.
Yeah, with the whole entire program, like I said, at USC.
Yeah, I mean, this is something like as musicians.
Let me get in on that.
Yeah,
I mean,
how can Heather and I sign up?
Hey, it's right there. It's right on the USC's website. It's
Right.
the MUIN program.
But is it in like an extension class that you can take, or you have to be like you have to?
Phenomenal question. So we have courses, of course. It's so funny. I did not come here to advertise USC, but I do have a shirt on. But whatever, just because I was teaching.
But we all publish our own music after this.
That's it. After this class, no, but we have an introductory course for non-music majors. So if you want to, take that too, it's pretty cool. But it's like an overview of the industry, the revenue streams, how to monetize, blah 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 blah. But yeah, and how does that relate to today? I mean, it's the importance of how music energizes movements. How music affects social change. We can look at artists like Marvin Gaye, like Dr. Cornel West discussed, or I mean just basically any artist you can think of. I believe Nina Simone said it best when she said like it is the not even the right, but it's what did she say? I forgot her exact words, but basically it's our mandate as creatives to speak the heart of the people. But, I mean, really, it's like. We know it's a lot of stress happening, distress. People are fighting, and like we have to do that. Like they give us money, and
it's our duty.
Yes, it's our duty. Thank you. Like they give us money, they come to our shows, they stream our music, and if we're not literally saying what it is they want us to say, meaning place their emotions and feelings into words or into frequencies, whatever that is.
Yes,
we're not doing our actual job.
Yeah.
We run into this a lot on the show. We talk about it a lot in the show, like the separate, like that there's this idea that there's a separation between the DJ culture and politics, between music and a message. And I think we see this more and more in pop music, that the message has been, removed from the music. Here it is, once again, to remind people, it is our mandate to deliver that message or deliver that political view and that that sense of necessity through our DJing. So
but I mean,
if you think otherwise, yeah. No, I'm just saying if you're saying, hey, shut up and DJ, suck it.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot this year. Last 4 years, that's all I've heard. It's like, well, there's more to me than just DJing, and there's more to you than to just share that information with me as to what you don't want me to do. So obviously it's touched you in a way that we're talking about it. We've, it's kind of initiated some dialogue, but it's never been me to not share how I'm feeling. It's just obviously in the times that we're living in and have been living in, you're almost forced just out of frustration to just let people know what's happening. Because if they're not aware, if they're not living it, just to make sure that they're privy and they can go either direction they want to go. But I think it's just as our duty as human beings, as citizens, to share this information, because it's regardless of what fence you may lean on, for sure.
No, but absolutely, like it's impossible to remove the fact that DJing, the genres from disco until now, all electronic forms of music, literally comes from marginalized people who came together as a community in garages and school auditoriums and all of these things to come together for a cause, whether it be the LGBTQ community, the people of color community, like all of these communities would get together to commiserate and to start, and then movements develop. It's impossible to remove the DJ's way of being, their goals. It's impossible to remove that. And for the music, if you just want music to play, you need to get Spotify and hit replay, get a playlist. Like that's it. Other than that, it's impossible to remove politics from DJing.
I love that.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, music was born as a movement of marginalized people. So like it's our duty to continue this tradition, right? This is like you're talking about duty. This is what we need to do in dance music, especially. And I actually wanted to talk to you, Phyllis, because you've been involved with the drag scene and bringing that into dance music
Yes.
in creative ways. In a time like with Club Called Rhonda, that you're so intertwined with and integral to creating, like that brought this kind of culture to a more, I guess, mainstream dance music world in a way that it hadn't been before. What was that experience like for you, and what were you trying to accomplish?
That's a great question.
Well, interestingly enough, I mean, I was thinking about when you talk about marginalized communities that have had such a big hand in dance music. I mean, the LGBT community in New York and the Loft and Paradise Garage, these were places where love was the message, like that song isn't just a song, it's an ideal, it's a culture, it's a lifestyle.
It's an anthem.
And that came from like a smaller version of people that were able to see each other every single weekend, to be able to communicate that within and of themselves because they were ostracized otherwise. I think what we got to do with a club called Rhonda, and what you guys still do, Eli and Charlie, especially what you had done with Rave the Vote, and Heather, your set was incredible. And the like way that those songs, basically, I mean, Love Is the Message is just one example, but there's like the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream track that's been redone in like countless house music tracks and stuff like that. Those are messages that need to be spoken. And I mean, a club called Rhonda for me went 10 years ago now. We just kind of really hit the timing right in Los Angeles because no one was doing anything as polysexual as we were, but it wasn't anything new, right? I mean, it's like these like underground clubs that were called The Loft, that were called Paradise Garage, that were called Studio 54. And then
take it back even further, Continental Baths, that was
all the bath
straight up a gay club,
Yeah. But I came into LA from San Francisco, having spent 7 years there and lived, basically almost paid rent at the end of every Sunday for a long time. So when I got to like start helping produce Rhonda, it was just a culmination of those ideas. And those ideas are not like, those ideas are sacred. You know what I mean? Like those are like time capsules that we can keep filling up and keep moving through. And I think it's really, like Andre was saying, it's our duty to keep those time capsules relevant to like, Truman, who's going to grow up knowing those tracks because of you, Heather, and like, who knows where his path leads, but if it leads to that calling to give other people that message, that's more important than anything. And I think that as creatives, it's just such an honor to be able to do that, as well as duty, because what Mike B was saying, like waking up in the morning and understanding the energy of the room, that's what you guys do, and that's what you guys do so empathically. Like there's a sense of empathy for people that you guys have as artists, and on the production end of it, just making sure like the doors are open and people are like paying their tickets and the lights are working and all that stuff. Like it's a beautiful thing to watch, and it's something that is like, I think, natural to our bloodstreams as humans. And people, like, I watch these like people now, I mean, I'll just like talk about one person that I've been watching, which was this woman, Candace Owens, and she's talking about how we should not be emotional about our take on politics and whatever. And I'm like, but that's who we are. Humans are emotion. We are emotion. Emotional is not something that we can escape. Like we can't just say we can't be emotional about it.
If you can just turn your emotions off, you're probably an alien. That's all I got to say.
If you can turn your emotions off, pardon me, but you're friggin' Trump.
Yeah. When those emotions try to get turned off and kind of like move to the side, then that becomes marginalization.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just been really, really like so lovely for me personally within the last 10 years to create, like I said, that time capsule again, over and over again. I mean, I just personally took my career in a different direction because I was like, I'm gonna be so this old and I'm still in a club. Like, it's, you know, like when you exhaust every part of the club scene and then you kind of just have to, you know. But anyway, thank you for asking, because that's kind of just my take on it, really.
Amen. Well said.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, but it's
Go ahead.
What were you gonna
Go
say,
ahead.
Andre? Because you're as soon as you no, I was gonna say Andre and I. As soon as we heard you mention Candace Owens, so you, Andre, you need to speak on what you wanted to say about Miss Owens there.
Well, I was gonna move it along because I don't want to. I like to.
Okay,
put my
cool. Let's just keep it
energy in places that, you know,
Positive vibrations today. That's what we're trying to do.
No, but honestly, dealing with, like, you know,
Yes,
vibrations.
no doubt. I like that.
Yeah. So my thing is, it's like, think about this. We literally have been inundated with all of these negative frequencies and vibrations from the television, from social media, to, you know, people of color being, you know, shot and arrested and killed in the streets, to fights breaking out, like all of this negative vibrations and energy all day.
Yeah.
I just feel like we, as a community of creatives, need to turn up the frequency on what it is we want to actually hear and see on this planet. So I just know that, like, today, especially with the DJs out at the booths, like, we are doing a very powerful thing, and I'm just really appreciative to be in the community with all of you right now, because I think it is what is absolutely needed to combat the craziness that's been happening. I mean, I've seen so many posts about, like, one, it was funny, but then it was pretty sad. They said, "What are you gonna do once the race war breaks out?" What? So now we're like, that was something I saw yesterday. Like, they're like trying to party. Like, all right, let's who has a crush on me before we all die? But that's like, what is happening? Like, where's the music? You know, where are the artists who are combating that? You know?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, I think
you don't have to go all in, and that's what I think you're feeding into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, how do you kind of get this message out to your students? You know, to younger people. How do you inspire them to be, you know, overcoming all the negativity that gets bounced at us more and more, and really, you know, transcend that, and then create and contribute with positive.
Well, I'm a veteran. I did 8 years in the Marine Corps. Well, 4 years in the Marine Corps as a musician. Then I was assigned to the White House as a presidential pianist in the Navy Band of Washington, D.C. Right.
Wow.
So one of the things that I've learned, if once you see something, you can actually know how to avoid it. If you see, like, you know, the mine, and you don't step on it, you've avoided the mine, right? So the way I consciously combat it and give my students a tools to combat it is showing them, like, we watch. I always recommend things like watch, what's that thing that came out, Social Dilemma. Watch those movies. We talk about we actually, at the end of every week, when it's our last class for the week, I say things like, go out there, have actual life experiences versus being okay with watching television and seeing someone else live through for you, and the chemicals in your body reacting as though you did it. Go eat the thing. Go hug the person. Go give them your number. Go whatever it is. Go have experiences. So my thing is, like, as long as you're showing them the truth and opening their eyes to reality, they are brilliant, and they will go out there and change everything, just like they're doing now with this election.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
And
super inspirational.
thank you for your service, Andre.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course. Thank you.
Man, I think I guess that's the importance of music. That's the importance of inspiring young people, and music, the culture overall, the culture of music and culture in general has that power to transcend politics, to transcend opinions, and just really touch people in their hearts and change people's minds in ways that we can't with our words. So that's something that is really, I mean, it's incredible that you can teach that to young people coming up who want to be in the music industry and really get that message across.
Absolutely. And I just, you know, I know we have a couple minutes left, but, like, my favorite thing about this generation is once they know the importance of something, they said this is the generation that loves experiential learning. They don't just want to read a book. They want to have experiences that's going to, you know, to go with them forever. Once they know the importance of something and they understand the power they possess, they do things like buy all the tickets at the Trump rallies. When he gets there, nobody's there because they know the noise of, like, they told these brilliant concepts. So it's like, I don't think we give them enough credit for their brilliance and their resilience. And I'm excited to see what they do at the polls today and what they do in the future.
No doubt.
Yes, no doubt.
I'm charged up, man.
You should be.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know?
Thank you
Positive energy.
thank you for inspiring us, Andre. Really,
Yeah, I needed that. I needed that injection today.
Yes.
Absolutely. And you may see us knocking on your door, and I believe we qualify as new resource students.
Yeah. Absolutely. I can't wait.
Is that what we're called? Really?
I'm in grad school. I decided to take this time to go get a master's degree, and I'm the oldest person in the program. So it's
You're the oldest
Nice.
You're not the oldest person, Eli. You're the newest resource.
I'm the newest resource. Exactly.
Good point.
That's it
Good
right
point.
there.
I love that.
That's it.
For
I know my
sure.
son was like, well, Mom, you talked about finishing up college while, this was going down. So he's pressuring me to finish up. So I might have to. I'm
Honestly,
inspired by you guys right
look,
now.
I know the entire process. I will walk you through it all. Just let me know.
Cool.
All
We're
right,
gonna get at you.
Get me your details, Charlie, Eli. Like, let's.
Yeah, anybody. Just give it. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm with it.
sure.
Yeah.
Let's do
Make it
this.
happen. Andre, thanks again.
Word.
No, thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure.
Pleasure to meet you.
You too. Thank you. See you all soon.
Fingers crossed
Thank you,
for
Andre.
today as
Take
well.
care.
All right, now we are going back to our correspondent live at the polls.
Live at the polls.
Man, I love that intro. Gary, what is up? What's going on out there?
So I'm back in Beverly Hills, and I got some Trumpers fucking in.
Oh, he's breaking up.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm right here in the heart of Beverly Hills, and we got about 30 people with Trump flags. They think they're making a difference in California right now. They're getting wild, and everyone's honking. Here, check it out. You got 2 pickup trucks
Truman.
and some Trump flags. Here you go.
No, no.
I mean, they're out, They're happy to be.
What a waste of time. You guys don't get our state. Get the fuck out of here. I live here, buddy.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, look, they call themselves the silent majority, but the reality is they're the loud minority. That's what's going on with that.
Bro, there's literally
walking, always doing this stuff.
There's 30 people, dude.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? This is our right as Americans to be out, to be, holding up signs for what we believe in. And
they've been here. They've been here every Saturday. They've been here for like 10 weeks. Look, here you go. Look at these guys.
It's kind of hard to see, but I think the other question is, how can we? Oh, hi, it's me. How can we use compassion to combat the aggression of this this mentality? How can we meet this aggressive mindset with compassion? And hold our country together, because after all, we're all still living here together.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question because they believe things that aren't true. So it's hard to kind of have compassion and a discussion with people that, think Hunter Biden's laptop is the answer. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they're programmed by the news. So they got to put the phone down and put the social media down and open a book and have conversation, but it doesn't seem to happen.
Yeah, no, this is what we were just talking about with Andre. Is like, he's a teacher and just encouraging his students to be out living their lives and not living their lives through TV or social media, because like you said, it's really hard to be open and critical thinking if you're not out there talking to real people and having real experiences.
Yeah, I mean, look, I have some friends. I have one friend in particular. He's got a master's at Harvard, and he's a Trump guy, and we have conversations about it all the time. Mm-hmm. And we can at least be, very. He tries to share his point of view with me, and I try to listen because he's really smart, but it still doesn't make sense to me, because he's still trying to tell me COVID's no big deal, and it's like, it's just I don't understand. I don't know. But I hear you. No matter what happens in the election, we're still all here. We still have the same problems, and we got to fix them no matter who wins. So
yeah,
we got to come together and talk and work it out.
Yeah, I think these conversations are so important. I mean, where I live, it's very split. red, blue, Democrat, Republican. I live in the country now, so it's like a very different thing than being in the city. And you know, neighbors have very different views, but you're still neighbors. So I've had conversations with people here, and
for sure.
And you know, I'd say the majority of folks are reasonable people who can talk about this stuff. You know, the ones who are standing out on the street every weekend with their Trump signs, trying to be all loud. Those are the ones who seem to have a problem with everybody else. But I think it's so important to remember that we're all people, and that, you know, the majority of people, even if they're voting or believe in different things than you, are still people that you can have a conversation with and you know, try to share ideas with. And that's important. And that often gets lost with all the partisanship.
Yeah, but I think Destructo Gary hit the nail on the head when it comes with like just there is a lot of misinformation going around.
So
and
true.
You know, these folks are, you know, they ate the bill, you know, so it's hard to think clearly when the value system is so screwed up with misinformation.
Listen to this one, guys. I was having a conversation with a family member of mine who's a Trump person, and she was telling me that, you know, we didn't respect, you know, when he got elected, the Dems didn't respect him and didn't respect the office of presidency. I'm like, what are you talking about? The dude's talking about grabbing him by the pussy, and
That's
he's
insane.
the most disrespectful human to people. How can you respect him? You know, and they like get mad at me. It's like, I respect.
Yeah.
I was hoping for the best. You know, like, look, Republicans, Democrats, all good. We're all Americans, but they're just not seeing it with a clear lens as to what this dude's all about. They don't really see what's happening, and I don't know how you get that through their heads.
Yeah, I also that is what's scary. It's like a sports team. It's like supporting a sports team and just being like cheering for the sports team regardless of who's on the team.
It's worse.
Just die hard for no matter what.
No, you know what? It's worse because I had this analogy. It's like the WWF, and they like to be the heel. They want to be the bad guy, the bully that's like, come in and be like, fuck you to everybody. And they get off on that. Like, I'm trying to like change shit in our country. I'm not trying to, you know, these people, they think this is like the Super Bowl. They want to watch what's going to happen. Like, it's not, this isn't a sporting event. This is like our lives.
And it impacts so many people. And even if it's not impacting any of us directly, or, you know, but it's affecting so many other folks who maybe don't have the power and don't have the voice and don't have an opportunity like this to talk about this. And those are the people we have to think about as well, not just ourselves. That's so important.
I also I don't think we've had a president who is like facing so many lawsuits and jail time coming out of office, you know.
And all of his cabinet, all of his people, they all went to jail.
Scandal.
How can we respect that? How can we respect that? Come on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm making so much noise over here. I'm riding.
You're riding for Biden, bro.
We're gonna go to our next guest.
No, it sounds good.
We got DJ Scotto. I'm sure you know Scotto, Gary. I'm sure you guys go way back.
Yeah, I love Scotto.
So you want to hang out for a minute and say hi?
Yeah, of course. I'm cool.
Scotto, what's up?
East
Coast, West
Scotto, welcome to the show.
What's up?
I can't. Where are you getting all that energy, Gary?
I've been on this fucking bike for 5 hours and 30 minutes. I've ridden 85 miles. I'm going 100 miles, so hopefully Biden will win. That's my plan.
Woo, 100 miles, man. That's pretty cool.
That
You know, we were talking about this. That there is like right around my neighborhood is you know, a North Miami police speedometer that tells you how fast you're going in the neighborhood. And I was trying to get my bike because I was doing the math. If you were riding around, you know, 80 miles, 4 hours, you know, blah, blah, blah. And you're averaging what, like 15, 20 miles an hour?
I'm like 16 miles an hour. Average.
That's pretty fast because I remember trying to get the bike up that fast, and it's a lot of leg power.
Yeah, I'm tired, man.
Especially in LA.
All that good living in the 90s.
Yeah, what's up, Scotto?
Chilling in over here.
Scotto, where are you at?
I'm actually in my home studio in York County, Pennsylvania, not in New York City. It's Trump County out here. I love my neighbors, and I love the messages that Heather and Phyllis and Eli and Charlie are talking about here. And Gary and I live the word. We're not just out there making money and not giving back to the community. And I love what Eli alluded to earlier about our culture to transcend. And we have a responsibility as rave promoters, and you know that's part part of our foundation and good karma, you know. And I just have so much respect for Gary. You know, I was privileged to help him have one of his first DJ gigs in New York next to Moby, and
Yeah.
pretty nervous.
D-Light, Moby and D-Light.
Wow.
That's
91.
At the
91.
Wow.
Oh, you got the flyer?
Snap.
What?
Wow.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. What?
That flyer's in good condition. You
Wow.
must have saved that. You must have kept that one on the side. That didn't go to any of the street promoters, did it?
And here
Wow.
we are, man. Thank you, Gary, so much, and thank you, Eli and Charlie, and everybody at Law Street for putting this platform together.
Sure.
Scotto, you actually like laid a foundation for rave music or for raving and politics to come together. And back in the '90s, we need to hear about that, and I want everybody to kind of find out what that was all about.
For sure.
Well, we were really at the right place at the right time with the right heart. You know, being in New York has its benefits, like being in LA. But NASA started out as an all-age non-alcoholic dance party after I did a couple of the first raves in Manhattan at Studio 54. And we chose the Shelter, and it was a system that Richard Long and Larry Levan helped put together. DJ Timmy Regisford. It was a continuation of Paradise Garage.
Cool.
Look at this lineup.
And my mentor was Richard Vasquez, who ran the Choice and at the Loft, David Mancuso's Loft. And I lived in his building on 2nd and Bowery in '92. And Larry Levan was one of my roommates who shared a bathroom. And
What?
So people thought I was crazy when I was going to do it all an alcoholic rave party, but it took a little bit of, you know, getting going in the summer, and then the paper magazine and, you know, some of the cool, you know, details in downtown. People were starting to pick up that raves were cool, hard drinks, ecstasy. It was like the next thing you know, Swatch was doing their 10th anniversary, and we're raving with our DJs in the windows on Broadway, and Moby's. You know, it just popped, but we always gave back to an organization, MAPS, Multidisciplinary Psychedelic Research, Rick Doblin and all those people. We had psychiatrists in training from Barnard Columbia University, including Dr. Julie Holland. You know, she's on CNN and stuff whenever they talk about drugs or marijuana or whatever research.
Wow.
So, and then, of course, we go back to Greenpeace 10% every week from our proceeds at NASA every Friday night. And at My Dreams really kind of helped. I was really, you know, in pursuit of my own vision and dreams, but it really helped inspire the rave generation. And people like Junior Sanchez came out of our house at NASA, and Joski, his first DJ gigs as a
Shout out to Joski.
And Chloe Sevigny, the
Shout out to
kid,
Junior.
bassist for it. But then what I really wanted to do was, obviously you just showed this up on the screen, but this is really the origin of, you know, Rave the Vote right there. NASA's Rave the Vote. And it was a privilege to work with the Voter Assistance Commission. It was one of the largest voter registration drives. Unfortunately, Giuliani won, and that was one of the first things his office did was disband the Voter Assistance Commission to make it harder for people to vote. So this guy has been doing this kind of stuff for a long time.
Yeah, for all you younger folks, Giuliani was the mayor of New York City. If you didn't know that, that's like,
yeah.
Before he was this like sleazebag now that's pulling
his schlong out.
And he puts down a bunch of
and getting borated.
Putting his microphone away. Putting his microphone
yeah.
away.
We didn't want him in our clubs back in the day. He was bad news because he'd do it to get the press. He'd have a photographer he'd pay for, and he'd want to be in Page Six with his girlfriend or whatever, and get timing it with some real estate deal or the Woolman Rink or some crap. And so we know Trump all days. And anybody that's watching that does want to vote for Trump, I love my Trump neighbors and friends, and I understand why you all voted for him the first time, and I'm not hating on you. Whether he wins or loses, nobody wants it to fail because America fails, but we can't keep dividing each other, and we have to start talking about policy issues. I want to know about healthcare. I want to know about infrastructure, all kinds of stuff, and we have to keep checking people on these pivots. I could give a shit if Hunter Biden smoked crack. We all have done that shit.
Yeah.
You know, but we have a responsibility in our culture, and I'm so grateful that you guys put your weight behind this current Rave the Vote campaign. And it's such a privilege, like have like minds come together. You know,
Totally.
When the E was pure back in the day, we were having our think tank sessions. You know, with Lady Miss Keir and Moby on the flights, or whatever. You know, we were envisioning these kinds of digital conferences and being able to reach out in new ways. And,
as difficult as COVID has been in so many ways, especially for our industry, this moment, this time, or these months to take a step back and reflect and focus on bigger things than us has been really a blessing. So, I mean, it's, I try to take the positive out of it as much as I can. As hard as it is not to be in a club playing music for people, in the club dancing with people, there are upsides, like this opportunity to be with all of you here and to have something like that and to try to inspire young people in other ways. So,
hey, well, think about this one when they had the bubonic plague, which was the worst pandemic ever to, take out humans. After that came the Renaissance period. So, this is like a paradigm shift.
Spanish flu was the Roaring 20s.
Spanish flu to the Roaring 20s. There you go. We can have the Roaring 20s again.
Yeah, there you go.
Here's the original Rave the Vote logo.
Liquid Sky.
It was on the back,
Nice.
the back
That's
of my
crazy.
Woodstock flyer at Woodstock '94 with the Orbital and Apex Twin and D-Light.
Wow.
And so your logo is so much cooler. I don't know who designed it, but thank you. And I want to thank your management, and Mr. McDonald and
Johnny Mac.
2+2 and everybody. And like I said, we're part of history. It's amazing that our culture has come and gone and grown in so many ways. And we have so many. It's really amazing. I'm a little overwhelmed because of what you guys have done. I know what it takes to register a couple thousand people, and you guys have done this in a 2020 way. And thank you again for that effort. I encourage everybody that wants to learn more about the history of our culture, EDM history, New York culture. You can go to my site, scotto.tv, and you can also support by. We've turned our flyers into this amazing clothing line, and it has a whole new life. But it helps send out the message, and people actually check the history out. Thank you, DJ Heather, for what you do. Your set was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Scotto. Thank you for everything you've done. And it's like I'm just hearing you talking about early New York, like 90s, 92. There's like parties I would play at that weren't like as huge, but they were more, midtown, downtown bars. And I was there when the kind of like Giuliani, chokehold was happening, where they had like cabaret licenses, right? So you could you could have a space like there's one. Yeah, so you couldn't dance really, but you have
we had that in Boston too.
The spot, and then that was crazy to me. And it's like, and we obviously have that with the rave laws that happen in Chicago, where I'm still where I'm still based, and how like kids were ticketed for having events, things like that, kids going to jail, etc. So we've seen the ebb and flow, and I know it's the possibilities of what we do. And how much we can galvanize and keep things continue to push things forward. So it's a pleasure to just talk to you all, and the scene is going to continue to grow. We're at a stage where we're kind of like having to have, or on the verge of a renaissance, but this is a chance for us to reconfigure, restructure, rethink. And think of it as, dare I say that blessing, but it is something that we can really take stock of and figure out what to do next.
For sure.
We can definitely find common ground with these Trumpers. They don't like Nancy Pelosi. Let's vote them all out. They need to all agree to term limits so that we can stop the flow of money.
Everybody needs to go.
McConnell out, let's get them all out and start.
Campaign finance reform is another thing that I think people agree on from the left to the right. I think we've got to get as much money as we can out of our politics.
Yeah.
It's clearly causing a lot of problems on both sides, and we need people to be able to run.
Spread the message of patience this week, and not to be out there on looting and rioting. Not that we can't let them have that easy moment, that TV clip, and
absolutely,
know that we'll be okay. There's 9 million production professionals out of work still with COVID. It's not anywhere near in sight. The only work I've been able to get is actually building Trump rallies. And last week in Allentown, I had the privilege to the head of White House IT, and he gave me some really great insight. Who's worked for the last 3 presidents and the NSA, doing some crazy stuff. And he gave me some numbers. They think Trump's going to win 272 to 268. We can hold our breath. Maybe we'll still get the Senate, and we can have a lot of power that way. Rioting is not the answer. We've got to get people to write letters, and we've got to get this National Voting Day in place, like we've been talking about this whole broadcast. And we have to do that as a common people, we the people.
And we got to get rid of.
We need to get these term limits going, and that's how we start to stop this cycle.
And we got to get the Electoral College out of there as well. It's just an archaic system.
We can make some changes
where we are.
Sure, we can keep making changes, and we can keep fighting. Even if Trump wins, it'll be okay. It will. And that was encouraging to hear from somebody in 3 administrations. But he said that they were tracking 1,500 different cells of leftist groups that were planning on causing problems. And I said, what about Proud Boys, stuff like that? They're obviously surrounding Biden buses, and these are just un-American things. I challenge my neighbors, if I know them, I challenge them on their Christian beliefs, and I say, how can you have somebody that's like that, worships among whatever, talks like that about his fellow Americans, and you can find common ground. It's you have to listen, and we get so wrapped up in our own, social media metadata, bubble, but I'll go on and on for hours.
It's all about these conversations. Yeah, like we said. I mean, as you get out there and you get out of the cities, you start realizing how diverse and how. But also, how people are still people, and they can be reasonable and have different opinions than yourself, and that's the key here.
I've run for office out here, and it was a privilege to have libertarians and Republicans vote for me for local tax collector. And I was running to eliminate the office because it's so inefficient. These little Mayberry town cops and tax collectors. If we centralized it in the county, like the way some in Maryland are. But Pennsylvania's a commonwealth, and a lot of the laws are still in the books from when William Penn was given the land from King George. So we have a lot of work to do, and again, coronavirus is, there's always a silver lining, and we have all this great technology now that we're actually utilizing. So thank you again for this incredible Rave the Vote platform, the opportunity to engage all of you today.
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks for joining us, Scotto. I think we need a full episode with you at some point, man. I want to dig into this history.
Yeah, that would be great. Sure. I'd watch it.
Yeah, tons of stuff on Scotto.tv, for real. There's some crazy moments in there.
For sure. That flyer from the original Rave the Votes is just like a dream, something out of
and it was great.
Fantasies. And you keep mentioning D-Light.
CNC Music Factory, Little Louis Vega.
Yeah, Clavel's from
You keep mentioning D-Light, and in case Lady Kier is watching, big shout out and send a message.
It's
been a few years since we crossed paths with her, and so Kier, if you're out there, we miss you.
Rubens in the Heart tour was really fun. Playing the Hacienda, running lights for all these bands, touring with Moby, doing lights for Prodigy, Apex Twin. He was crazy. There's a lot of stories. Wow. Definitely, and
we got to go.
You guys have your own journey. It's been amazing, and thank you for, contributing to our culture, all of you. It's just phenomenal that 30 years plus later, people like Gary and I are still doing what we love. Outside of biking, I don't think I could do 60. 85. You can do 100 miles. Struck now?
I'm still
No,
going.
I'm getting there. I got to hang up. I got to focus on my last 10. I'm dying.
All right, Gary.
I love you guys.
Happy Gary.
Scotto,
Gary.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Unbelievable.
Scotto.
Thank you, Scotto, for sure.
Wow, that was a history.
Honored to have you, and I can't wait to talk to you more.
That was awesome.
Sort of scary.
Yeah,
Sort of
he's
scary,
like,
but
That's
shout
so
out to
cool.
Gary.
Yeah, what is it about that? What do you say that the White House IT guy who kind of knows what's going on with the NSA was saying? Does that
I
mean they
know,
already
that's
decided who
wild.
won? I mean, what's up with that?
Wait,
That's
did,
what I'm saying.
he said he was doing lights for a Trump
That makes
show?
me.
he's been building stages for the Trump rallies. Just that
Wow.
that's the only job around out there, and you got to keep the lights on.
That's the only
But
job
that's
that's
strange
keeping
that,
him
like
going.
there's this prediction, so specific, such a specific prediction of what the electoral college results are going to be, but.
If they are that, I'm gonna be really fucking scared.
It's gonna be freaky.
If he hit the nail on the head? Fuck.
That's
I don't know.
just the margin of error being so not error. Well, I guess it's relative, but like the margins are so slim in so many counties right now that it's like 1 percentage point. It's like literally Biden threading the needle. That's why literally every vote counts and how close it's going to be. But it's going to be a reflection, even more of a reflection of the repudiation of this administration by voting of sheer numbers, right? And just tabulation. We know that out the gate, but how it's going to be reflected in the electoral college, that's disconcerting for me. That's still not
Me
telling
too.
you like the breadth and depth of like the people's voice, because it's not going to be really reflected in this election.
Absolutely.
There was
Going a certain way.
There was a great podcast. I believe New York Times, The Daily they have somebody who writes over there who's a historian of the voting of the democracy in the U.S.
I'm listening. I got a dip. I'm gonna
okay, cool, yeah.
be right back.
And also the history of the Electoral College. And in the 70s there was a movement where they almost voted the Electoral College out,
which they should have.
There was a few senators from the South that basically blocked it, saying it was going to minimize the voice of Southern states. So that's where we're at, and there has not been any momentum.
Well, the worst part about it is that it was designed to keep someone that was unfit out of office. That's basically the premise of the Electoral College.
I was going to rewind to our Rich Medina episode when we were talking about the origins of the Electoral College and and the parallels to slavery.
So basically, there initially was not a popular vote at all. So basically, there was just
people couldn't get. They were like living in
because people were so far away. There was no way to communicate information about a central candidate. So you would nominate somebody from your community, and it had to be like a wealthy white person. Basically, there was only a certain choice you had, who would then go and represent your community to choose the president, and that's where the election.
Did they like ride off on a horse or something?
Yes, they did
probably.
So I mean, this is it's an antiquated system, and we should really revisit what it means to be a democracy and what it means to be an American democracy. That's something that I hope can happen. But I don't see, if our current president wins again, there's not going to be any progressive policies of any sort. It's all regressive. Mm-hmm. And I know that some people feel safer that way.
A lot of
people do, but I do think that in order, this is it's the 21st century. There's a lot of global issues. There's a lot of national issues that require us to think differently and not just be stuck with these regressive ideas. And therefore, that's why I hope that there's, some openness to movement forward in different directions, with the climate, with racial justice and moving away from racism being
come on,
a foundational part of how we build our country, addressing those issues. These are all things that I think require open-mindedness and progressive ideas to move forward.
A little bit of empathy.
I think that's what's missing, but that's coming from the top, and it's just a big echo chamber, and I'm really struck by the images that I recall seeing, when that guy realized he'd won, and the look of shock and disbelief. Like from the moment he came out on stage, the first moment he was actually in the Oval, and he looked on the look on his face is like still like, I cannot believe I'm here. And I think he still has this mentality, and people still are able or are using him as a vessel, and in turn he is doing the same thing. But it's just indicative of like how much he doesn't want to be here. Case in point, his just lack of interest in policy and the care of the citizens. Case in point, the fact that we're all sitting here doing a live stream from different locations, not talking to each other, 9 months into a pandemic. It's crazy because he doesn't care, and that's the empath that we're longing for. And that's what I think the feeling, we want someone to just understand our common ground of being stressed about not having work, about like all these things, real life, real issues. Also, people of color being marginalized, trans, gay communities. Like it's like the breadth of concern and fear. Like the number of people who are literally out of work. When you have a guy that's telling you we're turning a corner every day, it's frustrating, it's maddening, and you're thinking, well, it's Orwellian and all those things, dystopian. You can go into all of those phrases that we kind of have been using for so long, and it's tiring. Everyone is tired and they want to get off of this perpetual news cycle. The hopelessness is real and palpable. And for that guy to be so dismissive of it and to think we're not thinking positively is just, and part of the insanity. And people really just want to feel like there's going to be an end. This isn't an end. Where we are, there's no, the magic bullet is theoretically a vaccine. Great, we get a vaccine, then X amount of people aren't going to take it because of the fear of vaccines, which is perpetuated by, so it's just cyclical. So we want to just, I can speak for myself personally, I don't know how you feel, but we just really want to feel at ease. We want to have a good night's sleep. I want to be able to feel.
Me, Heather, as well.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I also speak as a parent. I think about future stuff, and it's like, I wish my child wasn't old enough to really understand what's happening. You try to keep it light, you try to keep it positive, but you try to keep it not like, but informative and honest. But it's like they know, they're intuitive. They have a sense of like it's bigger than not being at school. Then that whole other sub-eco structure of their very own, their friends, their family, of their friends are their family, their teachers, their relationships that make amazing social human beings. They're missing all of that. It's been taken away. It didn't have to be to this degree. Like kids are, they're really intuitive. They really get it. When you're straight up with them, they're like, cool, I'll handle it. But they're tired too. They want to see their friends. Their teachers want to see them. It's like, it's not fair. So what can we do to get out of this fairness? And my concern is that if this guy is reelected, is that we won't have any answers. We'll still be coasting in this whateverness through this winter. More lives lost, more jobs lost, more distress. No plan, still no plan, because their modus operandi since February has been the election. So here we are. Okay, great. Or we're going to figure out something
their modus operandi
theoretically.
Their modus operandi since this administration took power in January 2017 has been to have no plans about anything.
Just chaos and misinformation.
Chaos. I mean, that has been, and I'm just,
and they succeeded.
Right. Like, we're tired of the news cycle. We're tired of the chaos. Let's just have some plans and some vision for how we can move forward with COVID and just with policy, with our country in general. I think that's what would really take the weight off so many folks, like you said.
Absolutely.
We're near the
that's
end
what
of
I think
our
about
show.
all the time.
Yeah, we're nearing the end of our show, and before we go, I did want to talk about a couple of concrete things, nonpartisan things that we can know about that we can go over about the election. But first,
what's this, Minecraft?
I want to where News and Brief said Texas voters line up to shoot ballots at local election range. In Canyon, Texas, loading their firearms with enough ammo to mark their preferred candidate for each race, Texas voters lined up to begin shooting their 2020 ballots at local election ranges. Sources confirmed Thursday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do I love that? I don't know. I kind of love that. I mean,
onion.
I would. Oh, it's the onion.
It's the
Wow.
onion. You got onion.
I got duped.
You got onions.
I got onion,
Wow.
yo.
Meanwhile, in the
It looks mad real.
You gotta be
in the real
accurate.
world, here's when the polls start to close, and we'll and we'll actually potentially get some results. Or like Nora said, there may be, it may be days before we actually get.
Oh, we won't know.
Results. Yeah.
I'm not counting on for another week at least. Yeah. And if we hear anything, it's not going to be true. It's just going to be him spouting off, trying to say he won. Both of them are going to be spouting off, trying to say they won. I think it's about just like hanging out with everything. I mean, anger has an expiration date, so I think I'm not trying to. I got a question
though. I got a question. Can you? So let's say that hopefully we flip and go Biden, but between now and January 21st, what happens? Does Trump still have like executive authority to like push through a bunch of?
He does, right?
Yeah. Is that true?
No, he does to a certain extent. This is kind of like the lame duck session from the end of election period up until inauguration. So they can kind of try to push through things, but people aren't really going to be pushing unless they really want something to go through. So that's why I love the lame duck, because things kind of it's transitional.
Right. The danger is I was going to say the danger is we've seen with Mitch McConnell, do unprecedented things to get his agenda through. So we don't know. There could be pandemonium the next 2 months, 3 months. So we need to be prepared for everything, I think.
Can I just sorry.
It also depends.
Sorry. Oh, I just wanted to segue a little bit about, because I did have one little thing prepared for this before the show ends.
Please.
Sorry. So I've been really obsessed with my meditation practice lately, and there's one thing that I've been learning from this woman. Her name's Roshi Joan Halifax, and she has a place called Upaya Zen Center in New Mexico. She's incredible. I believe she's one of our underground leaders. But she talks about rites of passage in societies, because she's a sociologist before she was a Buddhist monk. And the rites of passage, kind of like the bubonic plague leading into the Renaissance and Spanish flu into the 20s, and honoring these rites of passages in terms of like how they do really actually have an expiration date. Like, this isn't going to actually last forever, and the more that we talk about that, the more that we talk about it being as a rite of passage, we can actually create change around it and make these Renaissance moments, right? These our versions of Love is the Message, our DJ sets, our creative aspect. Anyway, there was this one poem that I just wanted to read you guys.
Excellent.
And it's called Kindness, and it's by Naomi Shayab. And I think she really hit it on the head when she said it. So this goes, before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment like salt in a weakened broth. What you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go so you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. How you ride and ride, thinking the bus will never stop. The passengers eating maize and chicken will stare out the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead by the side of the road. You must see how this could be you, how he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and the simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows, and you see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to gaze at bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, it is I you have been looking for, and then goes with you everywhere like a shadow or a friend.
Ooh.
Thanks, Phyllis.
I'm ready for that
I
kindness.
need that energy. That's good. That's
Yeah,
really good.
you mentioned.
That's
I think we should pretty much go out on this high note. I feel like. But you mentioned this meditation practice, and I think meditation is been so helpful for me too, dealing with this time and focusing on the inner space instead of the outer space. What's going on social media or around the election? And we're actually getting together with a Buddhist friend tonight, and we're going to have a group meditation instead of watching.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, we can create our own realities.
That's
I know
awesome.
It's hard to step out the door and see a different person's perspective based not on who they know, but what they hear in the news. Yeah. That's a big one. I think that when I encounter people who don't agree with me in terms of political views, I ask them about who their transgender friends are, who their transgender family is. And even if they fall back on political views, at least that question resonated somehow, because our transgender brothers and sisters are being just forgotten so much these days. I mean, the Trump administration tried to erase that word basically from all legislation, literally. And it goes back to, who created this scene for us, this music. They were basically Black gay men and women who identified through their souls and who they loved. Yeah. And I think that meditation just reverberates those thoughts, and it kind of works, in and of itself around the actions that you take. And it doesn't involve anger, it involves empathy, and it involves compassion. And I'm just so honored to have been able to work with you guys on this movement.
Oh, us too.
And to be able to meet you, DJ Heather. I've seen you play so many times in my life, and it's such an honor to be able to be next to you on this screen. It's so cool.
And it's an honor to meet you too. This is fantastic for the soul and well-being. And it's I know I went to a certain plane because I think I was tapping into what Charlie and I had kind of discussed a day before this. But it's really about how I think it's about feeling how many people are feeling. And if I could take away this energy and pain, I would do it in a heartbeat. I always tell my son this. It's if there was anything I could do right now to change where so many people are at, I would do it. And I think that's the sense of powerlessness. And I really hoping that just talking makes me feel empowered again. It makes me feel, understand that a lot of people feel the same way and we're not alone.
Yeah.
Truth.
And you have a strong voice. A strong voice.
Yes, you do.
We're trying. We're all trying. Just trying to be, the best people we can despite these circumstances, and try to move with positivity and power in that way.
That's right.
I like that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Phyllis, Heather, thank you so much for joining us as our co-host.
Absolutely. It was a great show.
Really amazing.
Thank you, brothers.
Your voices are so valued.
Awesome.
And we appreciate you so much.
Thank you. I can't wait to see you guys.
Thanks again for having me.
Yes, please, let's hug it out.
Yes.
Oh man.
All right.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Stay safe out there, and all the best tonight.
Shit, dude, that might have been our best show ever.
It was really, there was some great messages, ideas, positivity, inspiration. Love all the guests, and big shout out to everybody who tuned in. Next week we got Luke Solomon from
Hopping over the pond.
We're gonna not talk about U.S. politics. Hopefully
we can talk about Brexit.
We won't have to. We can talk about music politics. We can talk about music biz politics, because I know that's got to get spoken about with Luke, because there's a lot floating around out there. So we'll see what's going on with that.
And if you don't know, Luke Solomon's the guy behind Classic Records, behind Music for Freak Records, a co-founder with a lot of history under his belt.
There's toupee. No, he's not.
There's toupee.
No. So I just want to close with a couple words. Like it's come up on the show, like Nora brought up from vote.org. There's a very good chance we're not going to have our results tonight. And that does not mean that there's anything wrong with the election. Like Nora also said, rarely are states coming up with final accredited results on election night. It takes days. Often the polls give us predictions and allow winners to be called, but with all the mail-in voting and with all the early voting, this is a new world. And it's really important that we take the time to make sure every vote is counted, because every American's voice matters, especially those who took the time to go out and vote and maybe braved weather, maybe waited in line for hours. It would just be a travesty if everybody's votes didn't get counted. So all this talk about making sure that votes get counted by the midnight tonight is just not reality. And we need to make sure to keep this as you know, in the forefront of our minds. And it may be stressful and it may take time, but let's be committed to the process that's gotten our democracy where it is. You know, there's plenty of flaws, like we said, but we still have been a functioning democracy for hundreds of years, and let's let it take the time to sort this one out and trust that process. So
well said.
I guess we got our vinyl thoughts.
Yeah, let's move on to vinyl thoughts. I pulled something from Funkadelics. America Eats Its Young.
Appropriate.
The song is called Everybody Is Gonna Make It This Time, and I just wanted to read something from the inside of the vinyl.
Yeah.
America, we are all America, all part of the pain and suffering and the agony of America, all feeding the agony and the conflict of America, whether we are for or against or indifferent or unconcerned, whether we care or not. We will all be concerned in the outcome of America, even if we don't feel concerned now. We all share the future. It keeps going, but I'll cut there. See you next week. I'm going to move over and play this song. Thanks, everybody.
Stay funky, y'all. No matter what comes our way, if we stay funky, it's going to be okay. See y'all next week. We love you.
Our mothers and our fathers, they had lives to live. Oh, and today is proof that mistakes were made. There's not a doubt in my heart, they done the best that they knew how. And there's still time for us to make the grade. We got to learn from the mistakes that were made in the past. We got to clean so that we can use our minds. 'Cause in order to get it together, got to get our hands together. Everybody's going to make it this time. Everybody's going to make it this time. Our country and our cities, they have been betrayed for money. Oh, and somehow the people, they will make a change. Yeah, there's not a doubt in my mind if hunger and anger place the blame. There won't be a country left to change. We got to see what we're doing in the name of comfort. We got to see, we got to feel the warning signs. But in order to get it together, the mistakes that were made in the past. We got to clean so that we can use our mind.